Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It's 11 a.m. It is Friday, the 2nd of May. Bitcoin is ripping up $96,500. We have a busy show to get through today. We are going to get straight to the chase. We're going to look at the markets, look at the X-Files. Then we're going to go through interest rate cuts, Ripple looking to buy one of the stable coins, CZ having a pop at the EU, Meta Planet moving to the US. We're going to look at SUI, we're going to look at ETH, and we're going to look at Ubisoft. All of that in an hour. That's what we're going to do for you today. Now, if you are in chat, say hello. Give us a subscribe. Give us a follow if you don't follow Crypto Warehouse. We try and stream most mornings at 11 a.m. This week, we have done Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We also did our Wednesday stream, and we gave away Mew on our Mew night on Binance and on YouTube. If you won, I am sending the prizes out today. So I know Mary won, I know Danny won, I know Hidden won, and I know Jason won. So I will be sending out the prizes to those of you that have sent me your wallets. So if you have won some Mew, congratulations. Good morning to Mags, Hidden Agendas, Velvet Rope in chat. I hope you are all doing incredibly well. Should we get on with the show? Let's go down and have a look. Before we begin, 208,500, not 208,000, 208,500. We are getting close to 210,000. So if you are new here, let me move the camera down so I don't look like I'm a borrower. There we go. We're getting close to 210,000. Now, I think that's quite significant because, of course, there's 21 million Bitcoin, and 210,000 sounds like it's something we should do a giveaway for. I don't know what we'll give away, but we'll give you something. Anyway, let's have a look at the markets, see where we are. Bitcoin, $96,500. Ethereum, storming up, 1825 for Ethereum. XRP, 221, hasn't really moved. Find that interesting that Bitcoin and Ethereum have moved and XRP hasn't. And all of the bullish news coming out about XRP, and it still hasn't really moved. The 7-day of Bitcoin and Ethereum is up. The 7-day of XRP is flat. BNB is down. So is Solana. Bitcoin and Ethereum are moving. The rest of the market isn't. Solana still at 150. Doge, trash coin. Cardano is not doing bad, coming in at 70 cents now. That has had a bit of a move up. Tron is there. SUI is probably going to start having a move up. We're going to talk about SUI a bit when we get to the SUI news in a minute. Chainlink announced this week that it was going to be partnering up, cozying up to Cardano. I know Charles spoke about it. I know Sergey spoke about it. That's good news for Chainlink. I've heard nothing from Avalanche, Stellar, Ton, we've got a bit of news on. Shiba, Hedera. There's a lot of coins that are not getting any headlines at the minute. There's no news coming out about any of these coins. Really, really strange. We have the bear in chat. Can everybody say hello to Kabir? Kabir, the title of the show today is just for you. Grin and bear it. Because I think everybody who's a bull, a perma bull, will claim victory. Everybody that's a perma bear will also claim victory. And that's because the market moves up. The bears think they've won. Sorry, the bulls think they've won. The market moves down. The bears think they've won. This was a very big buy the rumor, sell the news event with Trump coming in, and trade wars did not help. Anyway, what gainers and losers do we have for the day? Immutable X is up. EOS is up. Quant has been this price forever. $60 to $100. It never moves. It's the strangest coin. I think it's incredible what it can do. Nobody seems to like it. Tiny market cap, price is stuck in this range. It's like the twilight zone. Walrus is up, IP is up. Been a good week for AI coins. The AI narrative is coming back. I told you it would come back. I said that we have markets that go through cycles. You have the real world asset narrative. You have the AI narrative. You have the meme coin narrative. We have the ETFs. Obviously, we've got the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, but we've got the ETF narrative. And some of them can cross over. But AI has been out of people's psyche for months, and I think it's going to make a comeback. On the downside, we've got Celestia, FET, Trump again. The coin I won't mention is down. Jupiter is down at 46 cents for Jupe. I think that was pretty much the opening price of Jupe. Incredible that it's at that price. In my opinion, wholly undervalued. But what do I know? Now, have I opened the right list of X files today? I think I have. Here we go. Let's have a begin. Anybody else joined in chat this morning? Kabir is here. KB is here. Velvet Rope. Quiet again today. Fridays have become very quiet. Right, the total cryptocurrency market cap has hit 3 trillion. That's what I think on Monday, when we look at the charts, we look at the total market cap, we're going to start to see, I think, a breakup now towards a higher price. But then I think we are going to get rejected. At some point, we're going to get rejected. This move has taken us from 76 to 96,000, almost a 30% move up. I think we're going to go higher and get rejected and come down a little bit, maybe to where we are now. Maybe we will have a run at 100, 102,000 and get rejected and come back down. That is a distinct possibility for me. Now, Sui in Dubai right now. You can love your chain as much as you want, and you can hate on other chains as much as you want. But you have to remember that bums on seats matter more than anything else. Bums on seats in Solana. Solana is the most hated chain in Web3. Everybody hates Solana. Oh, Solana's full of meme coins. It's got pump.fun. It's got the cabal. It's got all of this going on. Yes, it has. Sui. Oh, nobody uses Sui. It's a dead chain. It's overhyped. It's got VC backing. All it ever does is promote itself. We'll talk about the ETF in a minute. The thing is, when you have attention, you have market. And when you have market, you will end up having revenue and you will have profit. And if you build without attention, what are you doing? Would you go to the middle of a desert where there is nobody and build a Indian restaurant? No, of course you wouldn't. Would you go to the center of a very hot city and open an ice cream parlor? Yes, you would. So don't build in isolation. Don't build in the wrong place. Don't build the wrong things, and don't not tell anybody what you're doing. It's massively important. Now then, Dan Crypto Trades, he covers off a lot of the sentiment towards Bitcoin. It's good to cover him when I've not got the charts. I don't want to do charts today. It's a Friday. We're here for a nice afternoon, morning, depending on where you are. Bitcoin has been consolidating between 93 and 96. We've broken up. When we look at the Bitcoin chart on Monday, you will see that these were the lines, not precisely his lines, but these were the lines that I have drawn on the Bitcoin chart. There is a certain set of ranges that Bitcoin goes between. We saw it when it was stuck between, say, 86 and 92. Then we got stuck between 93 and 96. Are we now going to be stuck between 96 and 98, 99? Or are we going to break back down into this range? Is this correction going to happen to bring us back down towards 93, 94? When that news came out, I was with the Oracle in the office before the Wednesday stream, and I said to him, if we come down, if this really does have an impact on Bitcoin, we're going to come down and maybe even test 89 to 90. And it was quite bearish. But Bitcoin, again, because of the ETFs, they just bought it all up. So it's very difficult at the minute to predict where we're going. So I think this is this yesterday? This is 2 days ago. So this is what he was saying here is that this is the range that we are stuck in. Breaking above or below this range would indicate Bitcoin's next move, and we've just broken above it. So hopefully, I did say at the start of this week, are we going to have a run at $100,000? We're at 96.5, start of May. Good signs, but we might go to 99 and get rejected. And if you're the bear in chat, you're just waiting for Donald Trump to tweet and drive the prices down. Now then, the blockchain group's first annual report. What they are aiming to do is buy 1% of the total Bitcoin supply. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think the time to own 200,000 Bitcoin has gone, because I think it's just too late. There can only really be a few winners when it comes to a finite supply of resources. We've seen MicroStrategy going hell for leather to try and buy as much Bitcoin as possible. We've seen BlackRock and the other ETFs, to be fair, also buying their share. To come in to this scarce asset class and say that you're going to buy 1%. Listen, of course they can go and buy 1%. I don't think they've got the money to buy 1%, should be my argument. I think they could probably get to between maybe 50, 100, 120,000. But remember, we don't have enough Bitcoin. It's a finite asset. It's hungry hippos. Do you think MicroStrategy are going to sell? No. Do you think BlackRock and the ETF IBIT is going to sell? No, I don't. Do I think Cathie Wood's ARK Invest? No, I don't think they're going to sell. I don't think America's going to sell. I don't think China's going to sell. So if they don't sell, how do you buy? If you go to a shop that has no toilet roll, how do you buy toilet roll? You can't. You'd have to wait for somebody to maybe walk back into the toilet roll shop and say, listen, I've heard toilet rolls are $50 a roll. I'm going to sell my toilet roll. That's what we have to get to. We have to get to $50 a toilet roll. And what are we at now? $1 a toilet roll, $2 a toilet roll. That's when we might start to see the sell pressure. Anyway, this is Eric, again, made a video a few days ago and mentioned that some of these people are the ones that you should be following. That behind you is the list of new crypto ETF filings. And that is Eric Balchunas with the James Seyfarth chart behind him. Now, there is going to come a time where saturation really does take effect. Not every ETF is going to become magically the best thing to hold. But we've gone from having 1 to 2 very slowly. Then we're going to go from 2. Now, I can't read this chart, obviously, but potentially there's 12 different crypto assets in there, and 72 applications isn't 72 individual cryptocurrencies. There will be multiples for Solana and XRP, maybe Cardano, Hedera, whatever it might be. But let's say there's 12. We're going to go 1 to 14. So we're going to have an exponential curve of ETF applications. And as we get an exponential curve, the impact of each is going to fall. But having said that, the market caps of a lot of these ETFs are a lot smaller than Bitcoin, a lot smaller than Ethereum. So when we do talk about the Hedera ETF or the Cardano ETF, it would be remiss to say that it's not going to drive the price up. It is going to drive the price up. Clearly, it's going to drive the price up. And as I've said to you before, maybe holding an ETF portfolio is not a bad idea. But this is more about adoption. This chart, you don't even need to read it to see what is happening in front of your very eyes. 18 months ago, we had zero. We had no ETFs. And today, we have 2 cryptocurrencies with about 14 or 16 ETFs associated with them. We're probably going to go to 14 cryptocurrencies with 84, 86 ETFs attached to them. That's an exponential growth, and that's not all going to happen this year. But between now and the end of next year, we could have in excess of 100 ETFs. The adoption that we talk about is here. It's happening in front of your very eyes, and I'm going to remind you every day with different charts why these things are important. The same with the Bitcoin supply. It is falling on exchanges on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's the lowest it's been now for 5 years. Either the price goes up dramatically to cause people to sell, or we are going to head lower to the point where we don't have enough Bitcoin to sell. Now then, the reason I'm bringing this up is a reminder that today we do have a couple of important factors coming out. We've got the unemployment rate. Why is that important? Because the three things that Chairman Powell is interested in. Number one, inflation. Check. Number two, housing. Check. 2 green ticks. Number three, the unemployment rate. If unemployment goes up, wage inflation comes down. Unemployment goes lower, people can be more picky about their jobs. So we want high unemployment, a cooling housing market, and low inflation, and then Powell will flick a switch and we'll have rate cut and rate cut and rate cut. Maybe 2 or 3 this year, but this is the third of the 3 important numbers to him. And this isn't me saying these are important numbers to him. If you listen to what Chairman Powell has to say, if you listen to him, he'll say every single meeting, unemployment, housing, inflation, unemployment, housing, inflation. Until those 3 things are under control, ain't happening. 2 of the 3 are under control. This is the third one. Now, but it's the least significant one as far as you guys are concerned. You only care about inflation. The majority of you only care about inflation, quite rightly. But in Chairman Powell's eyes, you need those 3. So today could be a massively, massively important day. And these numbers that come out could be really, really bullish. Now, because we've had the 1, the 2, and today we've got the 3, next Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting and a press conference. Okay, next Wednesday. And that is likely to be a bullish move for us all, we think. Now, let's say that it goes in the opposite direction and we don't have a higher unemployment rate. And let's say Chairman Powell decides next decision is no rate cut. That's going to bring the price down. Of course, not much, but it will. It's not as dramatic as what Trump's been doing. Good morning, Manjeet. So, although it's positive that we're getting to the point where rate cuts are going to happen, it's not a case of if, but when. That's where we are now. Last year, it was a case of if. Now it's a case of when. So we're in a different psyche. And Bitcoin has seen off quite an awful lot this year. We're 4 months in. We've had Trump's inauguration. We've had the tariff wars. We've had the fall in GDP, 0.5% fall in GDP. We've had a lot of kicks in the nuts, and we're doing all right. I think we're doing all right. To be at 96,000, I think we're doing exceptionally well. Bitcoin doesn't need a reason to go up, remember, it only needs reasons to go down. So low unemployment, high inflation, a raging housing market, they're the things that will cause us to have problems. But the more of this information that comes out, the more risk on assets become desirable, and the more people will move into assets like Bitcoin. Gold has hit its peak and is starting to retrace. That's a sign that the market thinks that risk on assets should be looked at. Gold was on a runaway train, $3,300, up from $3,100. Now it's starting to retrace. That's a good sign because gold is a risk-off asset. So when the risk off asset starts to decline, you know the market is starting to look more desirable. Bitcoin price about to blast higher as Fed rate cuts, odds jump to 60%. Again, I wouldn't believe this. This is just people putting the fingers in the air. Where are we going to go? But I do think we're going to get a rate cut at some point. The US GDP data that came out, by the way, which was 0.5% out, not 0.5% down or 0.5% up, it was 0.5% out. You have to remember that came from pre-Trump. So Trump can quite easily argue that had nothing to do with him. Now, he has cut the cost of gas in America dramatically. That will bring everything down. Now, if the cost of goods comes down, eventually people will start to buy more and confidence will start to grow. And no matter what happens, I think we're going to see a positive outcome from what Trump has been doing recently. Bitcoin has held 95,000. We're now at 96,500. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much where we are. Not quite exactly what I think. I think if we get to where we are now, I think we can have a run at 100,000. If we get a correction today because of this data that comes out, I don't think 93 is the bottom. I think it's about 92 or 91, something around then. And if it's massively bad, something massive is going to happen to push us below 90,000. And I don't see that happening today. Now, I did put a tweet up. This is not a dip. I'm going to bring this up because I'm on Binance. I can show you my tweets nowadays. When I was on another platform, which I can't mention, I wasn't allowed to show you my tweets. And KB, I hope you're listening because this is for you, my friend. This is a new chart pattern that I have created. Okay, so throw your books in the bin. Throw everything in the bin. By the way, 5,218 followers on X. We're doing incredibly well. Made a video about 3 reasons that the 4-year cycle could be over. Done that yesterday. But I made this chart. This is for the bears as well. This wasn't a dip, okay? This was a Diplodocus chart pattern, okay? And you can see the Diplodocus chart pattern that we are in now. That's what we're in. Now, KB, I give you my blessing to go and use my Diplodocus chart. In fact, now you see it on the chart, I bet you won't ever be able to unsee it because that's a Diplodocus move. Leg down, big long neck up. That's what it is, okay? Now, that's the move we've just had. If we do get the rate cut, we are going to go up. Now, we're not going to go up dramatically, but from 96 to 100 isn't dramatic. It's a 5% move. So we could be at $100,000 this time next week. And then you're going to hear people saying, we're going to top out soon. We're going to top out. I watched somebody this morning. And again, see, KB likes it. You have my blessing to use it, KB. Okay? I'm going to tell the Oracle about it as well. I'm thinking of bringing in more dinosaurs into the chart patterns. Anyway, the streamer I watched this morning, he was talking about the end of the bull run. And he said the end of the bull run is going to be July. Now, I don't know where that came from. If you look at the last 2021 chart, I think we had the all-time high, April, May. Then we had the COVID 6-month gap. And then we ran to November. But we didn't really run up too much higher in November from April. I think we were at like 60. Where did we get to 62? Then we came down, or did we get to 64 and go to 69? It was something like that. Now, we had COVID, which absolutely tore the heart out of that run. And maybe had you sold in the April or May, you wouldn't have really lost out. You'd have lost out by 5% had you sold maybe to alts, but those alts would have outperformed Bitcoin. Now, I don't see a July all-time high because it's in the middle of summer. And there is a saying, sell in May, go away, come back in November. I don't know how it goes, but it goes something like that. So basically, sell in May, come back at the end of summer. And If you follow stock market, that holds true. So I can't see a July all-time high. I can't see it. I can see it being November or October, even December, even January next year, I can see. But I just can't see us hitting all-time highs in the middle of summer. I just don't see it. So although maybe we get to 100,000 or 102,000 in the next 6 weeks, I then think we're going to peter out over the summer period and then have another leg up at the end. I just don't see us running and running and running through May, June and July to an all-time high and then having nothing for the next 5 months. I just don't see it. We're going to get 2, maybe 3 rate cuts this year. So as the rate cuts happen and the money printer gets turned on, are we saying that the last 5 months of the year are going to ignore the rate cuts and they're going to ignore the money printer? Is that what we're saying? I could be completely wrong, and of course we can hit July all-time high. But to hear people say on a stream, we're going to go to July and then that's going to be the end of the bull run, I'm like, I can't see anything that would indicate that. If we had low interest rates and the money printer had been turned on for the last 6 months and we hadn't have had the shock of the tariff wars, then maybe, yes, we could go to maybe 150,000 and then peter out. But we've still not seen the end of the tariffs is bullish, going to be bullish news. The American Ukrainian deal, which everybody's having a go at Trump about and everybody about, that's going to put American businesses in Ukraine. So he's using American corporate business as a shield against Russia. Very clever move. But that's massively bullish news. Rate cuts, let's say 3 rate cuts this year, massively bullish news. I don't see how we don't go to the end of the year. I don't see how we don't go to the end of the year, especially if we get a rate cut in May. If we get May, maybe August or September, and then November, for example. Let's say that those are the 3 rate cuts. I see Bitcoin going up for the next 6 months. I don't see why not. And I can't see it's finishing in July. It's like taking the cake out of the oven before it's baked. We've not put all the ingredients in yet. Good morning, Charles. I hope you are well. Hope you're well, Charles. Ripple. Now then, this is the tiniest text in the known universe. And for a website that wants you to read this text, making it so small, I mean, if we go back to normal size, that's the normal size. It's impossible to read. I wish people would think about their UI a little bit. The crypto firm Ripple has made a takeover proposal for Circle. Now, again, do you remember? Let me go full screen for a minute because this is a little bit where I have to have my little bit of a rant. I've said to you a few weeks ago, not everything in crypto is going to be here in 3 or 4 years' time. This is an expanding new industry. Crypto is brand new. Now, I am old enough, as you can tell from this, I'm old enough to remember the start of the internet. Yes, there was a time before the internet where we would play outside with a ball until the sun went down, or there was a time where we'd go outside and you'd hear your mum shouting to bring you home. That was before the internet. What happened 30 years ago is going to happen now. And it's an expansion. And at the minute, everything is expanding based on money from VCs and people investing, thinking it's going to be the next big thing. And guess what? 90% of what you are looking at is not the next big thing. It's actually going to go bust. 90%. And only a few companies are going to come out the other side. Now, as well as 90% going bust, you're also going to get consolidation of businesses, of companies, of projects. So a good example, we saw the mobile phone project, which begins with a H, Helium. Helium had its own blockchain, and it soon realized that running your own blockchain is not what it wants to do. So it moved its entire ecosystem onto Solana. That was its move. That was its consolidation. So there's going to be two types of consolidation in crypto. There's going to be projects moving chain, which we have seen, yes. There's also going to be consolidation of companies to create economies of scale. Now, we've seen this as well a little bit with FET, Ocean Protocol, and Ajax, for example, merging, and then another one, Kudos, joined in as well. So we're going to see the likes of Circle and Ripple and Tether and some of the exchanges, Binance as well. You're going to see a consolidation of projects. They're going to merge. And that does not mean that that project was necessarily bad or necessarily good. It means that they can look at what they're doing and saying, right, we've got complementary projects. If we merge them, what we're going to be able to do is maybe half the cost of development. That's a massive overhead to these companies, and consolidate office space, consolidate management, possibly add the tech from one company into another company. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen massively in AI. AI is going to be the one where it's going to happen more than anything else. But you're going to see exchanges possibly get to the point where they either IPO or they get bought out. You're going to see banks being bought out by crypto exchanges and crypto projects. You're going to see stable coins merging. You're going to see a stable coin that doesn't get any eyes on it, which might have a market cap of $500 million or $700 million. And that stable coin is making a return of about $30 million a year. Very good business. Not when you compare it to Tether, who are making $5 billion a year. So Tether will start to buy other stable coins maybe. Circle will buy the stable coins. That play in front of your eyes here, okay, this was not a serious play. This was Ripple flexing its muscles and saying to Circle, we're going to buy you out. And Circle, having their resolve tested, have basically said, jog on. That's what we would say from the north of England. So this kind of consolidation is healthy and it's good for the industry. Like the ETFs, at what point do we have too many ETFs? 500 ETFs, 1,000 ETFs? There's going to come a point with saturation. We saw it with meme coins. I kept saying to you, there's so many meme coins. When are there too many meme coins? We saw it with NFTs. When were there too many NFTs? There comes a point with companies where you can't really have 5,000 stable coins. You can't really have 5,000 Web3 banks. But what you can have is the fittest, fastest, most profitable one eating the others up and making itself bigger. It's like that little game where you're a circle and you go around a map, and every time you bump into a smaller circle, you get bigger. And then eventually a bigger circle will come along and eat you. And it's just survival of the fittest. So Ripple are just flexing its muscles and saying, we're going to take over the stablecoin market. That's what this is about. And there's no point in reading it because the headline is they tried to buy Circle. Will they go after smaller players? Yes. Will they try and dominate stablecoins? Yes. But so will Tether and so will Circle. Now, there will also come a point where some of these companies become the Apple of its industry, the Google of its industry, where its market share is just so high, it's going to be very difficult to unlodge it. Chainlink, I think, falls into that category. So does Tether, so does Circle. So does, to some respect, Binance in terms of its market share of trading. Its trading volume is absolutely massive. So I think we're going to see consolidation. Now, moving on, because I don't want to spend all day ranting, but let me just keep a track of the time. 11:34, 5 articles. We can do that, can't we? CZ calls out Europe and rolls out global education plan. Now, it's very hard for me not to tweet all of my thoughts all the time, but I have to remember that not everybody wants to know everything that's in my head. And unfortunately, there are people out there that believe that you should hear everything that's in their heads. And sometimes you should self-censor yourself. Now, the EU are not interested in crypto. The EU are interested in having their own stablecoin. Crypto, in their eyes, they call it a threat to their financial system. Why? Because they can't control it. And that sounds really conspiracy theory-esque. But if they have their own stablecoin, they can freeze assets. They can freeze your assets. Now, I agree, bad actors should have their assets frozen. But we've already got that. We've got that with Tether and Circle. They already have the ability to freeze their stablecoins. That's why if you think, oh, I've got $10,000 in USDT and it's on my ledger and nobody can access it, well, Tether knows that it's on your wallet. And if you do something naughty, they can freeze it and you can't use it. So holding Tether or Circle is actually no different to holding money in your bank, apart from maybe you can move it around a bit quicker. But if you do something wrong, they can freeze it. They can't freeze Bitcoin. They can't freeze Monero. So the EU want that ability to have programmable money. That's the key here. It's not just digital currency. It's programmable money. They can program it. And that is massively important to understand. Now, CZ is going around the world trying to do two things. Educate nation states on cryptocurrency, and this article doesn't seem to mention it, talking about creating reserves. Here we go. Crypto reserve strategies. That's what he's trying to aid them with. So he's become an ambassador of crypto. Now, considering this gentleman, who we all love, he was in prison only 4 or 5 months ago. It shows you what kind of crime he really served the time for, because I just think he took one for the team. If you ask me, the chain of events was this. Had CZ not gone to prison, had Binance US not agreed to what it agreed to, we would never have seen the Bitcoin ETF. That's how I think it played out. They also got rid of BUSD, by the way, Binance stablecoin. They got rid of that. So basically, I think Binance and CZ took one for the team. I think they did. And look at what happened the second that all of the agreements with Binance took place. We suddenly saw the ETFs. We suddenly saw the Ethereum ETFs. And I think it was just a trade. I think that's what happened. So CZ's now got this kind of ambassador role for crypto. I think he's the most suited person. He's been in crypto long enough. Yes, nobody is innocent. Nobody in crypto that has made it up this far is innocent. Brad Garlinghouse was trying to censor Bitcoin. He's now the darling of the White House. Okay, Charles was removed from the Ethereum Foundation, went off to form Cardano. He isn't without criticism. Vitalik isn't. Name me one crypto person of that stature, and I will find you something that they've done in the past which is a little bit shady. But that just happens. It happens in the real world. So the EU are the only ones who are being idiots. Now, what's interesting about this is that the UK, and I've not included everything, I don't want to talk about this too much, it's all politics. The UK have signed a deal with America to promote cryptocurrency. And again, that has gone by the by. Don't forget the UK's got 60,000 Bitcoin, and it's not going to have that idiot in charge for very long. There is a local election today, and the ruling party are going to get wiped out. They're going to get wiped out at this election because they won based on the fact that nobody voted for the team. So they won with 1 in 5 votes. Now, I'm not either side here. I'm just explaining the numbers. So the UK being a leading light in AI and a leading light in crypto gives me hope for the UK. It gives me hope. And all of this stuff that's going on at the minute, that's being promoted by Elon Musk about how bad certain things are, that will all come to pass. Okay? The UK, the reputation of the UK is worse than the UK actually is. Whereas other countries, the reputation is better than the country actually is. That's the way to look at it. So the image of the UK is different to what the UK actually is, because you see London as the UK and it isn't. Okay, and also the city of London isn't even London. If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, go and read about the city of London. It's fascinating. The mayor of London is not in charge of the city of London. Metaplanet establishes a US subsidiary to tap more funding for Bitcoin purchases. Remember, Donald Trump, again, I'm not American. I'm not going to sit here and preach you the virtues of Donald Trump, but I will say this. He stood on stage with the CEO of NVIDIA a few days ago, and NVIDIA are going to invest billions into America. He has stood on stage with the AI projects and talked about billions of investment into America. Metaplanet wants to do business. It opens an office in America. He is sucking investment into America. He's running America like a business. That's what he's doing. And a lot of people don't like that. Totally understand. Everybody has a different point of view, and I totally agree with that. And I do believe every country should have two parties that are equally as strong as each other. And unfortunately, in the UK, we don't. We do now, but we didn't at the time of the election. In America, unfortunately, the left has become very, very weak, and the right has become very, very strong. And that's really bad for democracy. And I don't know what it's like in your country, but when you have no option, there's no point in having a democracy. When you don't have a choice, there's no point in having a democracy. It's just ruling for ruling's sake, and they get away with everything. But Trump has not only got himself, he's got the House. He's been given a mandate by the American people to do this. Metaplanet wants to build up its reserves of Bitcoin. Trump, yep, absolutely. Of course you can. By the way, if you want anybody to invest in this, you've got to open an office in America. What's wrong with that? I'm perfectly on side with that. If the UK was the world's leading crypto hub, I would expect every company that wanted to run a crypto business to move to the UK or have an office in the UK. Of course you would. That's what you want. If you live in Poland, and Poland has the world's greatest AI businesses and the world's greatest AI projects, but those companies go and open offices in France, and all of the IP goes to France, and all of the investment goes into France, how would you feel as a Polish person? You think of it from your point of view. If you're in a country, you want the best for your country. That doesn't make you a bad person, even though the press tell you you're a bad person. So this is great news. Great news for Metaplanet. I'm feeling very opinionated today. I should probably move on. I don't know why I'm feeling so opinionated, by the way, but I am. I do apologise. Good morning, Kishan. I hope you are well. Right then, this is the bullish news about SUI. I think I've mentioned a tweet about this, but this is a different application. Now, I showed you the video at the very beginning of the SUI conference, and I made it very clear that if you want your project to succeed, you need to have eyes on it. Now, I might be old school. I might be a relic of the past, where feelings matter more than productivity and development. And maybe the new world is more about feelings than I am accustomed to. But if you have a project like SUI that has the momentum that SUI has, that has paid for the types of influencers that influence it, and I know from watching from the outside, SUI has a really good group of Coles, a really good group of crypto influencers supporting it. It hasn't gone down the route of, you know, DGen A, DGen B, DGen C. It's got good people behind it, and I like some of them. I think they're very good, and they don't really shill very much. So they've got good influencers. They have bucket loads of cash. They have tech that's literally walked out of Meta. I think it was Meta. And everybody went to the Basecamp conference. Even 21 Shares president turned up and said, we're going to have an ETF. Okay? Now, this is one of the reasons that SUI is pumping. And you've got to be careful. SUI is going to go up, but it doesn't mean it's going to replicate Solana and go from $3.60 to $250. Okay, you've got to take everything into account. I bought SUI the day it went live. And for a year, I thought this is a terrible idea. I made a video about Sui whenever it launched. I'll go back and have a look at the channel in a bit. I made a video when about it because everybody was talking about Sui launches and things like that. And I went and had a look at it, and I thought, wow, great tech, great people, great roadmap. But the one thing it didn't have was adoption. And to this day, it needs more adoption. But it now has really good projects running on it, like Deep. Deep, I've made a video about as well. Deep is a good project. But it doesn't mean Sui is going to go to $250. It means it's going to have a good run in this bull run. And this ETF is actually pretty good. Compare some ETFs that we've got on the go. Litecoin. Litecoin's getting an ETF. Why? What's Litecoin done in 3 years, 4 years? Hedera is getting an ETF. Great tech. What's it done? It has potential, yes, but what has it done? What else do we have? We've got Bitcoin, we've got Ethereum, we've got Solana, we've got XRP. But out of maybe 15 different cryptocurrencies that are going to get ETFs, surely you want ones like Sui, which are expanding ecosystems and growing ecosystems. And this isn't another Say, this isn't another Celestia. This is a genuine project that has a lot of momentum behind it. So have a look at Sui. I'm not saying you should go and buy it. It's at $3.60, $3.70. I wouldn't be buying it at that price, especially as a lot of people are predicting it to go to $5 and maybe correct. But I got in at whatever I got in at, 40, 50, 60 cents. I can't remember. I think I've done about a 5x on it. But I think it's going to do well moving forward. But so will lots of other coins. You know, you've got this problem where it's like the shiny new toy. Don't just chase something because it's new. Do you have room for Sui in your portfolio? Do you have room for XRP? Do you have room for Solana in your portfolio? They're the coins that are going to do quite well, or some of the coins that are going to do quite well. You should own them. Now, Athena Labs, who I don't like, have USDE, which I also do not like. But they are bringing it to Telegram. Now, much as I don't like something, it doesn't mean I'm not going to cover it on the channel. The Ethereum-based synthetic dollar. This is the problem. It's a synthetic dollar. Now, maybe I am wrong, and maybe synthetic dollars simply wouldn't work 5 or 6 years ago because of the size of crypto. You know, crypto is now a $3 trillion asset class. Got to bear that in mind. But a synthetic dollar means it's not backed by dollars. So Tether and Circle have physical dollars in a bank account or in the US bonds. They have physical dollars, and they're attested, which means they're checked by a third party. A synthetic dollar is backed by normally Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe a collection of other tokens. I don't like them, and I don't think I'll ever like them. There will come a time where maybe they will work because the market cap of Bitcoin just doesn't move that much, and maybe you'll have a Bitcoin-backed dollar. But why would you hold that dollar and not just hold the Bitcoin? So they are going to bring USDE to TON. I think it's a great move for both TON and also for Athena. Remember, you want liquidity. You want dollars on your blockchain. Cardano has been struggling. We've seen Solana has gone from 1.5 billion to 15 billion in, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? You need the dollars. You need that liquidity. So USDE is going to provide it across TON. So the integration will be into all non-custodial wallets. It will integrate into the wallet in Telegram. The integration into major TON DeFi applications with the synthetic stablecoin entity. Again, this is a great move for both parties, in my opinion. I think this is something that's absolutely needed. You do need to expand your horizons if you're Athena, and you need to provide utility if you're TON. Now, if you happen to hold some of these click-to-earn coins and you can't sell them to dollars, which you want to, it's going to be a pain in the backside. You've got to send it to an exchange. You then got to convert it on the exchange. If you've got a wallet on TON and you can just go sell and buy USDE, which is paying you 12 or 15% APR, what you're going to do, it's a no-brainer. So from Athena's point of view, this could add $500 million to their market cap. It's a great move for both parties. A great move for both parties. Good morning, Bullish Bull. Do you know, I was thinking about you before, Bullish Bull. I was thinking, I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know if you've been on this week. Good morning to you. Right. Let's have a look at this one. This is the last article. We've slid in at 11:50, which is nice. It's a nice time. It gives me time to talk at the end of the show as well. Now, we've just been mentioning USDE using Layer 0. We're now going to talk about Ubisoft powering Layer 0 with decentralized verification. This is a big one. Your identity online is a big challenge, and it's been a big challenge for about 5 years, and lots of people have tried to do it. How do you self-certify who you are? How do you do it in a way that's decentralized? How do you do it in a way where you can prove who you are? When you join an exchange, you send them your passport, your ID card, or utility bill, whatever, and they go, okay, that's you. But what if there was a way to have one place where you could just hold all your information and you got an ID that says, I am Dave, and then you go to a platform and click a button and it says, we don't know who you are. And you say, I am Dave, click. And then that website can see your Dave identity and go, okay, Dave, welcome in. How much time would that save? Then, if you expanded that to pay your bills, for example, let's say your gas, your water, your electricity bills, whatever it might be, was also connected to Dave, your virtual ID. Well, suddenly, everything in the world makes perfect sense. You no longer have to send a passport to anybody. You no longer have to send a utility bill because they're all connected to Dave online. And not only that, but the system would then say to you, listen, Dave, your passport's running out, upload a new copy. It's all in one place. Brilliant idea. But they've been trying to do this for about 5 or 6 years. And it's a minefield, to be honest, with the different countries and different regulations and accepting it as proof and stuff like that. But certain people are trying it in different ways, and Ubisoft is trying to create a more secure and interconnected gaming ecosystem. So it's launched a decentralized verification network, a DVN. This network integrates with Layer 0's cross-chain messaging protocol. It opens up new possibilities for developers. It will allow them to enhance their projects with secure, scalable, and customizable verification methods. For the first time, developers can now utilize this DVN to secure apps built on Layer 0. A DVN acts as a security layer for applications that interact across different blockchains. When messages are transmitted between chains, a DVN is responsible for confirming the integrity of those messages. It does so by verifying the payload hash. This ensures that the data is consistent and has not been tampered with during its journey from one blockchain to another. They were using Quantum for this, by the way. They tried to create quantum emails years ago. And what it did was it would know if somebody had tampered with the email going between A and B because of the state of the email. And if it had been read by a third party, you would know by the time it arrived. They tried to create quantum cash, except it would cost, I think at the time, $30,000 to create a $20 bill. So it can exist. This reminds me of that because it sees any changes to the string, or the hash, sorry, as it goes through. Very clever. The cleverer something is, and the more they hide it, the more like magic it will appear to you. Instead of enforcing a fixed security model, Layer 0 lets developers choose their verification methods. It allows use of various DVNs based on the needs. 30 DVNs are available, including the option like zero-knowledge proofs, middle chains. They can combine it. Very, very nice. Very, very clever. Very, very sophisticated. And I am all for stuff like that. Ubisoft is one of the companies that's been trying to move into crypto, except its user base hates crypto. So it's there. Just had to start working again due to my portfolio. You know what? That's always the way, isn't it? Right, let's get this up. Close this down. highlight this. Right, so a few things to tell you about today. I think it's actually just, give me 1 second. Yeah, pretty much gone. Fantastic. Right, a few things to tell you about. Number one, we've had 3 consecutive Wednesdays of Wednesday night specials. We've done the Maple interview with Nikolai. We've done the Wolf Swap giveaway, where we gave away the Monkey Muscle NFTs and Papa Crow and Reaper, I think we gave away as well. And then we've had the Mew Night last Wednesday. So 3 Wednesdays on the trot, we've had our special. We're not doing one next Wednesday. We are not going to have a next Wednesday episode. But, by the way, if anybody ever wants to know, that says bar humbug on it. Because I am the Jack D of crypto. And if you don't know who Jack D is, go and look him up and you'll probably laugh. Anyway, so we're not going to do next Wednesday. We're having a Wednesday off. But the Oracle is going to do a trading stream today. We were going to go to the office and do this show today from the office, but there was a horrific storm last night. Came out of nowhere. It was here till 2 or 3 in the morning. We're both really tired because it kept us up. It was constant lightning for like 2 hours. So we didn't go to the office today. So he's going to stream, but he's going to do a different type of stream today. So we will let you know in Telegram what he's going to be streaming, when he's going to be streaming, where he's going to be streaming. It's likely to either be Binance and X or probably Binance and X, actually. I don't think he's going to do it on YouTube. It's too much fishing around. But we will let you all know in Telegram what he's going to do. If he can get it to work on the platforms he wants it to work on, which is X and YouTube, then fine. Then we're going to do it that way. So that's today. I've also made a video, a couple of videos actually. I've made one about CoreDAO. That's a really interesting project. I do highly recommend you go and watch the CoreDAO video. I've made one about the end of the Bitcoin cycle. And today or tomorrow, depending on whether I get it done or not, I'm making a video of which 3 coins I think are going to have the opportunity to flip Ethereum this bull run. Okay? So I'm going to make a video today. I've already got the script done. And I'm going to go and do that, hopefully, if I have time. I am pretty knackered, though. And it is only 11:58. So we've managed to do the show in 58 minutes, which I don't think is too bad, really, considering. Now, the other thing, and the last thing I'm going to mention, because I'm going to run out of time, I'm going to go over the time that I said I was going to go over. We've been asked by some of the OGs to do a special kind of town hall. A town hall, for those of you that don't know, is where... Let me just close this down. It lags a lot when that's open. A town hall is where we go and go to Discord or somewhere similar, but I think we're going to do it on Discord. And we basically have a chat with the OGs for an hour. Now, we've spent about a week getting times and all that kind of nonsense. So it appears to me that 12:30, so half an hour from now, on a Friday, is the most picked time. So either next Friday or the Friday after, we're going to do our first town hall for OGs. Now, an OG is somebody that subscribes to the channel. We're on YouTube. You can see it there. We're called Crypto Warehouse. If you are subscribed to us, then you will be able to get into the town hall. That's the first thing. 12:30 on Fridays. Maybe we do one a month. Maybe we do one every 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. The second thing is we asked you what you wanted us to talk about on the stream. Trading or AMA or whatever. And you said general crypto stuff. So we're going to do it. But the OGs out there that are watching this, what general crypto stuff, you're going to have to come to the town hall with questions. And then we're going to bring you up to ask those questions. That's how we're going to play this. So we are more than happy to sit down with you guys and talk through things, talk about projects. If you've got anything specific you want us to look at on the stream, we'll do it. And myself and the Oracle will both be there, and we'll both. I don't think it's cameras on Discord, but if it is, we'll be on camera. If not, it'll just be mics. So 12:30 on Fridays. We will announce the first one pretty soon. It's more than likely going to be next Friday that we do it after the live stream on Friday. We'll go to the office and we'll do that. So that's the town hall for the OGs. The Oracle is going to do a trading stream today and probably do one on Monday as well and go back to doing Monday and Fridays. It's not that he's forgotten. It's just that we do the office. We did the office stream this week on Monday. We did the Wednesday stream Wednesday night. And, it's just it takes a lot more work to stream from the office than it does from the home office. It takes hours more. Whereas when I stream from the home office, I sit down, I press a few buttons, and here I am. When we stream from the office, we've got to bring lighting, got to bring cameras, we've got to set it up, got to move the desks around. So anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. KB, Bullish Bull, Charles, Kishan, Kabir, Velvet Rope, Mags. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I will see you all on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.